ACC Challenge. Last night, the SEC went 4-2, and we are the opener of a 10-game stretch this evening. And we start out with a couple of blue bloods, our ranked showdown of Kentucky and North Carolina. Hi, everybody, and welcome courtside here at Carmichael Arena. I'm Beth Mowins, alongside the Naismith Hall of Famer, Debbie Antonelli, and a terrific matchup to start out our big night of the SEC and the ACC.
I mean, 1 of 10, let's get going, right? What a great atmosphere. Two teams well coached, very well prepared. This should be a lot of fun.
And how about Alyssa Usby and Georgia Amoore getting to go head-to-head this evening?
Yeah, Alyssa Usby is one of the best athletes, most versatile players with size in the nation, because she can impact the stat line on the right side of the box score. Tremendous footwork on the interior where she can score left or right. She's made 45 baskets, 20 of them with her left hand. She's fantastic running ahead of the basketball in transition. They can play to and through her on the interior. I think she has a chance to have a big assist night as well. And on the other side, the All-American, the point guard, Georgia Amoore. She controls pace, tempo, gets the ball where it needs to be to the right people. She can score outside the three-point line. She plays with incredible control and command. This is a good matchup right here. She knows the Tar Heels well. She told us before the game she's played these guys 12 times in her career already.
Home whites for Carolina and the black jerseys breaking them out for UK this evening. And the SEC starts out the night +2 in the win column. ACC really looking to avoid the same fate that the men fell on. A rout for the SEC on the men's side. And the first possession results in a bucket for Carolina and India Navarre.
You got to jump to the ball, and I'm going to give Courtney Banghart a point over there, because that's the first thing she did in shoot-around today was the UCLA cut, and she said, we will get a layup off it. She was right.
Kentucky's starting 5 all transferring in under first-year head coach Kenny Brooks, led by Amoore, who was his star point guard at Virginia Tech, as well as Clara Strack, who's been one of the breakout players around the country early this season. Here's Tiani Key, 15-footer, and she'll knock that down.
So Tiani Key and Alyssa Usby went against each other in practice every day. Tiani Key is a transfer from North Carolina. This North Carolina team, Beth, as you look at their starting lineup, is a 3-and-D team. They like to shoot the three more than any team in Courtney Banghart's tenure here at North Carolina.
In fact, a higher percentage of threes this year as opposed to last year than any power team in the country. And with the shot clock winding down, there's one of them, Renaya Kelly. They have 3 shooters from downtown, Debbie, better than 40%.
They make almost 8 a game. Their effective field goal percentage is just under 50. They do a really nice job of moving the ball.
There's that 1-2 punch. The Tech transfers Amoore back to Strack. She, too, averaging a double-double. Loves that little fadeaway. And here comes the Tar Heels on the run, and the assist, Navarre to Maria Gakdang, who is back in the starting lineup after missing 4 games early on.
So for North Carolina, they want to get early offense if they can. This is the top shot blocking team in the country, Kentucky. So you don't want to over-penetrate. You want to make sure you play inside out through the post. And watch Usby right here. Advanced pass, and no one puts pressure on the ball. Nobody stops the ball. Gakdang gets all the way to the rim for an easy 2.
That last foul on the screen, Tiani Key, her first. Here is the shooter, the best one for the Heels, Lexi Konarski. Gakdang crashes. It'll be big if Carolina can hang on the glass tonight. And a hot start. They've made 3 of their first 4 buckets. They force another turnover. Usby on the run, lefty lay-in. What a start for the Tar Heels. Kenny Brooks has a veteran point guard, though. He doesn't want to burn a timeout early.
He expects Georgia Amoore to get the ball where it needs to be right here.
Amoore. Kelly gets the early assignment on her defensively, and Kentucky searching right now. Here's the Usby steal.
Well, one of the things that Alyssa Usby is so good at is converting from defense to offense quickly up the other end.
There's Georgia Amoore. She hangs and hits. Getting close to 2,000 career points now in her 5th year after 4 seasons at Virginia Tech. Here's Donarski. Has missed her first couple of looks today.
North Carolina is so good at crashing in that middle third after they shoot those threes. You know there's a chance for a long rebound.
Strack with the roll, gets into the lane. Usby with a block. Picked loose by Navarre. Deja Lawrence barely caught iron. No reset, in fact, on the shot clock. And a hell ball will stay at this end. Looked like that should have been a reset, but there's only 5 left on the shot clock. As you see, Courtney Banger, 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, now in her 6th season after tremendous success at Princeton. Strack got to hurry. Donarski got a piece.
North Carolina has the speed advantage, and I believe Kentucky has the size advantage. That's why Kentucky needs to get the pace where they can run their stuff. And how about Usby knocking down her 5th triple of the season? She does that consistently, and that's a problem for other teams.
Carolina shooting 75% here through the first 4 minutes. Amoore, good change of direction, lays it in.
She is so shifty, so good off the bounce. ACC fans have enjoyed her 4 years, or I think they have. Took a team for Kenny Brooks to the Final Four in 23.
Usby lays it up and in.
That's the speed advantage right there. It's Usby's winning that matchup up and down. Here's where Georgia Amoore's got to get Strack the basketball where she can be effective.
Strack has started out 0 for 2. She'll try from 17, way off. Gives a chance for North Carolina to push. Kelly.
A simple single side, naked side, 2-man game, and Kelly gets the ball to the elbow. That's what you're trying to do, is get it to that middle third to the nail.
Now it's India Navarre defensively on Amoore. They've got several different players to keep fresh legs on her constantly tonight. Amoore in a second foul called offensively on a ball screen. This will be on Strack. Hot start for the Tar Heels at home against Kentucky. ESPN's moments and the huge impact of Jim Valvano. It is V Week at ESPN, and when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research, it's game-changing research that helps save lives like Robin Roberts. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research.
That is the wife of Kenny Brooks, Chrissy Brooks, who has just and still is in the battle against breast cancer. Chrissy traveled with the team here, and she told us today that her message to everyone out there is to please get scanned. She missed 1 year of a mammogram. 1 year, 1 time. She didn't go. So she wants to make sure everybody is aware, and she's happy to share her story and her battle. Of course, Kenny and Chrissy have 3 daughters. Kendall, one of his daughters, works for Kenny as an operations coordinator. But we're all with you.
And one plays for him.
Yeah, and all 3 of his daughters played for him.
Yep, Gabby's still on this current roster. North Carolina. Hot early. And continuing right off the bench, this is Sierra Toomey, the redshirt freshman at 6'4".
I love the size, knocking down the 3. Toomey with her 6th triple of the season.
They are facing a a bigger lineup right now. Strack 6'5", Clara Silva 6'7" for the Cats. But they just cannot get anything going offensively. 5 turnovers and 3 baskets.
Well, North Carolina, as you mentioned, 8 for 12 from the floor. They've got 4 boards and 5 assists on those 8 made baskets. So they're in rhythm early. Their defense has a lot to do with it. And Kentucky just hasn't been able to get going yet.
Facing their largest deficit of the season are the Cats, who come in at 7-0. They already have 2 ranked wins over Louisville and Illinois. A new coach, a new roster, a new starting lineup, and yet they were still picked preseason 8th in the SEC. They've got a really good winnable schedule until February, and then it's all ranked opponents down the stretch in the SEC. Oh, and that's going to be a foul on Kentucky with 2 on the shot clock. And if that's Strack, that's her second. And it is.
Watch Usby hustle for the offensive rebound. And Strack does have 2 hands on her. She goes out of bounds. You have to make that call.
Usby able to track it down. He's one of the best athletes in college.
There's like 2 of Alyssa Usby's on the floor right now. She's everywhere.
Offensive rebound, another possession for the Tar Heels. Usby, nice feed on the bounce pass inside to Navarre.
North Carolina is clicking on their defense. They're getting whatever they want on the offensive end. And with Silva on the floor at 6'7", they have to take advantage of her size.
Strack has to check out with the 2 personal fouls. And there's a foul on the shot. They've assisted now on 6 of their 9 buckets.
Just a really composed play right here by a veteran 5th-year player. Knows this clock, does a good job of hustling to make that play. She's the one that kept it alive in the first place.
Deja Lawrence, who's back home, a native of Greenville, North Carolina. Starred at Charlotte, where she scored over 1,000 points. This is her 99th career collegiate game for the 5'8" senior, now in a Kentucky jersey. Baseline off the bounce. Hard from Triana Chris.
You really got to run North Carolina off the 3-point line into your help and into your size at the rim. That's why I think they're going to have to do a lot of penetrating kick against this Kentucky defense.
Lainey Grant, the freshman from Midlothian, Virginia, skipped her senior year in high school to join the Tar Heels early. Keeping that dribble alive out the other side to Navarre. The turnover. That's the first giveaway for Carolina. Hey, we've got a top 10 men's matchup for you on Saturday night. Kentucky and Gonzaga. The Cats looking to rebound from a loss to Clemson this week in the SEC-ACC Challenge. They'll both be out in the Pacific Northwest late night on ESPN2.
Both those teams so balanced, so good at sharing the basketball. Kentucky.
Nice step through to go to the left side for Silva, the freshman from Portugal. And at 6'7", tied for the tallest player in school history. But she goes over the back of Gakdang there for the foul.
Silva doing a nice job of getting her hands and her number to the basketball, and that 6'7", look at the footwork and the step through. That's a mobile 6'7", just a freshman.
Must be off the bounce, over her head and won't go. And now the counter for 3. Kentucky's got it. Amelia Hassett, the junior college transfer from Australia. Grace Townsend is in right now to run the point for North Carolina. Usby has it knocked loose by Hassett. And here comes Cassidy Rowe, their backup point guard. It's a 7-0 Kentucky run right now.
There's 2 point guards on the floor for Kenny Brooks right now.
Amoore kicks it back outside for 3 more.
And this is why Kenny Brooks didn't panic when his team went down double digits early. Last shot right here, last possession for North Carolina. When you have veteran play and you know it's early, it's a very good coaching move not to call that timeout.
Very comfortable. Crisp. And a 3-second violation will give Kentucky perhaps another shot here.
You got to make Georgia or Amoore come back to the basketball here, not let her catch it on the move.
Instead, it'll be Lawrence.
She traveled.
Oh, now there's going to be time left on the clock for North Carolina. How much?
You have, with .3 as a tap, you've got .4.
.4.
So it's not much time, but you got to catch it and let it fly.
They're going to get it up closer to midcourt.
I would throw it. I would set a screen for Usby and throw it to the rim.
Oh, they're not. 21-16 Carolina, but Kentucky's got the momentum.
Kentucky knocking down a couple of triples can get your momentum going, especially on the road. Amoore with the dish. The knockdown by Lawrence.
After the wins last night, and 10 games tonight, including these not to miss coming up next year on the Deuce is Ole Miss, NC State, and then look at that ESPN doubleheader. Texas, Notre Dame, and Duke at South Carolina.
Texas coming off winning the Gulf Coast Showcase. Notre Dame coming off back-to-back losses. Should be interesting. Rory Harmon, one of the top guards in the country, going against Hannah Hidalgo, who's one of the best guards, an All-American last year. Madison Booker's an All-American for Texas. A lot of star power there.
Good stuff coming up. Hey, in that first quarter, North Carolina led by as many as 15, the biggest deficit Kentucky has faced all season. But then they rallied with a 10-0 run to cut into it. And after the first couple of minutes, Debbie, they have ratcheted up the defense on Carolina.
Well, they just like to play a softer cover. They're not a team that extends or overplays, and that allows them to have their +10 rebound margin. And without Strack on the floor, Silva's going to get some extended minutes here, and Tione Key's got to look to be aggressive.
Strack 7 minutes in that first quarter and picked up 2 fouls, so she continues to sit.
You can play the smaller backcourt if you're Kenny Brooks because you got the shot blocking presence at the rim.
Amoore. That one won't go. How about a career for Georgia Amoore in which she has scored better against ranked opponents than unranked opponents? Been big in the big games. Navarre knew that one was short, right into the hands of Gagdang.
North Carolina doing a really good job on the offensive boards early. That's their 4th offensive rebound, and they've only missed 10 shots. That's better than their average percentage of offensive rebounding percentage.
Well, the 6 second chance points pretty much the difference on the scoreboard right now. Rowe. Silva gets a touch. Spins baseline, double down by Donarski, and a good dig to knock it loose. The ball stays here.
It's a really good job by Donarski. At 6'7", if you're going to dribble, you better pound it, and you better pound it low. She goes one-hand dribble, and Donarski, as soon as she turns her back to the baseline, Donarski brings the double. It's great timing. It's a really good play and a smart heads-up defensive play.
And only 1.7 left on the shot clock. Got to go, and it's blocked by Gagdang.
North Carolina really good at filling behind any penetration to the paint.
Dang spins to the right, rejected by Silva.
Top shot blocking team in the country. You better ball fake inside.
They averaged
10 blocks a game.
Crazy number. And protect the rim better than anybody. Good ball movement. And a whistle and a foul inside. Hassett the mismatch with Donarski.
It's a really good job of recognizing that mismatch, Beth. And usually Silva's the one that's on the bottom part of the high-low, not usually making that entry pass. She did a pretty good job of throwing it away from the defense.
Hassett to the line, 75% free throw shooter. From Eastern Florida State College. And the rebounding numbers 4th in the SEC. She and Strack, the only teammates, both averaging better than 10 boards a game. As Strack continues to watch.
Well, she's 6'3". She's got size. She can shoot it. And Kenny Brooks loves a shooter at the 3 and 4 spot. You assume you have one at 1 and 2.
Knocked loose. Down on the deck. Amoore, and then tripped up by Usby. That'll be her first.
So Kentucky survived the punch. Just a 2-possession game now. They're an excellent three-point shooting team if the right people are taking shots. So you'll watch personnel, how North Carolina does a good job of guarding personnel. You got to come out on a longer closeout on Amoore. I think her numbers have been down a little bit, Beth, so maybe Courtney Banghart is making her prove it first.
Yeah, the worst 10-game stretch of her career, if you look back to the end of last season as well as the 7-0 start this year. Their best start in 5 years, by the way.
I'm going back to what you said before about Georgia having more points against ranked teams. You know, I think she's a gamer. Right?
Navarre, spin inside. We'll get another crack at it. Carolina has cooled considerably here. Donarski must be trying to settle things down.
She should just clear out and go to the block. She had a matchup she could score on.
Key, the Carolina transfer with a good box out.
See, the game has slowed down now. Kentucky hasn't turned the ball over. They're playing in a quarter court. That's what they want to do. They'll try to run if they can, but they'd rather take advantage of their size.
Let Amoore make decisions. Tough shot, got it. She's got 6 and a couple of assists as well. Toomey fades in the lane and gets the bounce.
Sierra Toomey. Miss Pennsylvania last year, or when she was in high school. Of course, you mentioned her redshirt year. She's got size, soft hands, good footwork.
Loose by Usby, and here comes Kelly the other way. They've got numbers with a push, 3-on-1. Usby, an offensive foul, and that'll be 2 on Usby as Lawrence takes the charge.
See, I'm going to put that one on Renee Kelly. You get past the free throw line, you got numbers, you got to finish that. She put Usby in a really tough spot.
25-19 Tar Heels.
When you have an All-American on the top of the floor, you've got confidence. And Kenny Brooks has a lot of confidence in his All-American. Right here, shoot it. Sets up Usby to pick up her 2nd foul.
That's how we'll kick off the weekend. 4 conference championships on ABC. Tomorrow night, the American. And then all day Saturday, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC. Who wins their conference championships? Who gets into the playoff? Who's going to be left out? We'll find out Sunday afternoon at noon Eastern, the last reveal with the playoff field, our very first 12-team playoff to decide the national championship.
North Carolina comes out in zone. Just to change the rhythm of the game a little bit.
Both sides cold in the second quarter as Key knocks down the jumper.
I'm a big believer in changing the rhythm of the game. You can do it in a multiple variety of ways. Substituting timeouts, changing your D, changing your ball screen coverage.
Usby will stay in the game for Carolina with the 2 fouls. Strack continues to sit with 2. She's only played 7 minutes this first half. Another shot clock winding down, and Usby gets into the lane.
Alyssa Usby is so crafty around the rim. As we mentioned before, I guess she's made 40 baskets now, and almost half of them are with her left hand.
Got 9 points, 4 rebounds. Amoore, 16-footer, gets that. She's got 8 points.
She is money at the nail. North Carolina running with an empty block here. When their bigs can shoot it like Toomey can, you can really space the floor.
Toomey going off the bounce, fades on the baseline well short.
I bet that might have been a little too much.
Yeah.
Too many dribbles.
It's a Tar Heel team as Key drives and walks.
Watch Usby right here. Does a good job of facing up and then attacking 2 hard dribbles. Little soft shot over the left shoulder, and then Amoore. Little screen on the elbow to the nail.
Those 2 have been going head-to-head for 4 years now. Of course, last year for North Carolina, they finished 7th in the ACC. And a year that Virginia Tech and Amoore and Kenny Brooks won the ACC championship. Tar Heels this year preseason picked to finish 6th. Toomey.
Yeah, I don't think she had her feet under her shoulders on that one.
Hassett off the ball fake, gets it inside. Key blocked by Gakdang. Maria with the swat and the save.
What a tremendous play defensively.
Well, they were 2 of the best defenses coming in, and they're showing us why so far tonight.
When you push in transition, you get the play to the other side of the floor, and North Carolina gets bailed out by not rotating down fast enough with Gakdang's presence at the rim. When you have a shot blocker, you can erase some mistakes, especially on the weak side. Help.
Gakdang muscles inside and one.
Really nice job of getting great position inside. Tiani Key stuck behind right here, but they play behind. It's an and one, but I'm not sure about the foul here. Where's the foul?
They give it to Key, and now she has 2 fouls. And the surprising stat thus far, points in the paint, 20-6 in favor of North Carolina. And they have really taken the shot blocking out of it.
This will be their first trip to the free throw line also. And North Carolina is not a very good free throw shooting team overall. As a matter of fact, in all of Division I, they're towards the bottom.
59%. See what happens if it goes down to the wire. Neither side, there was a close game with UConn for North Carolina, but other than that, they and Kentucky have had mostly double-digit wins this year.
Let me say,
Kentucky, all of them.
Let me tell you this, though, Beth. You know, South Carolina, they're going to call a charge. as Indian Navarre just runs over the Kentucky defense. Look, Dawn Staley's team won a couple of national championships shooting right around 70% from the free throw line. So it wasn't a factor for them because they were able to beat teams by such a wide margin.
Crowd disagreed with that call, voicing their displeasure. Final 2 minutes of this first half. Gakdang with another good box out.
I love that butt screen right there, the free up and open shooter. That's the third butt screen I've seen Kenny Brooks' team set. Haven't scored on it though.
Gakdang inside.
He is so long and active around the rim.
As Debbie pushes the over-under on how many butt screen mentions in the first half. See if they get another one here. Silva in the lane.
I think Kenny Brooks would tell you he's getting the shots he wants offensively. They had a one-on-one in the post with 6'7", with good footwork. I think he'd take that. Silva shoots at 66% from the floor.
Navarre, nice spin, in and out.
And North Carolina has to be careful right now, Beth. They're going very much ISO ball, right? They're best when they move it.
Amoore fouled on the drive. And this will be Georgia's first trip to the line coming up. Second foul on Navarre.
I know North Carolina has the lead, but I only say that because they have played their best basketball when they are connected on both ends. We've seen their defense. Courtney Banghart spent a lot of time at shoot-around today, really breaking down all the aspects that they, on the scout, that they knew they needed to have.
What we've been talking about with the ranked versus unranked opponents, better in the big games, and now into double digits here in the first half for Georgia. Carolina's been up by as many as 15. Coming off of their battle for Atlantis championship, they dominated down in the Bahamas.
They go quick here. They got a 2-for-1.
Banging home the three is Sierra Toomey. She's got 8. Fourth Carolina triple of this first half.
You know, if Kentucky had taken a little more time inbounding the ball, they'd have the last possession. Instead, North Carolina is going to get that 2-for-1. There were 34 seconds on the clock when they inbounded. I would have taken my time inbounding it so I could have the shot clock at 30.
Crisp off the bounce and gets it to fall. The finish with a flourish to close out this first half for the Tar Heels. And a 36-25 lead at the break. This is the opener of a big night. 10 games in the SEC-ACC Challenge, with the SEC leading 4-2. Crisp, the distance for the lay-in. As we get you back to the studio now with Zubin and Andrea. Welcome back to the SEC-ACC Challenge here on ESPN. A big night of basketball. This is the first of 10 games to decide the Women's Challenge, which right now the SEC leads 4-2. As we welcome you back courtside, Beth Mullins alongside Debbie Antonelli. We knew the inside game was going to be where this thing might be decided, and advantage North Carolina in that first half.
I mean, a huge advantage. They had dominated the interior, and they've done it with their post play. Not so much their ability off the bounce, because they didn't really get to the free throw line. This is a very well played, clean game for the Heels. Their defense got it started, and then Ustby and Gakdang did a fantastic job on the interior. They combined to go 9 for 11. Gakdang with 10 points to lead all scorers for the Heels. An efficient post game up front for North Carolina. This is their back to the basket play. 19 points combined for Gakdang and Ustby.
Georgia Amoore had 10 to lead the way for the Cats. Look at that paint advantage as Kentucky scores its fewest points in a half all season. They also had some foul problems for Tiani Key and Clara Strack. Strack did not even muster 7 minutes in that first half. She is back out there to start in the middle here in the third quarter.
And on the opposite side, Usby has 2 fouls as well. Gakdang doesn't have any fouls, which means she can be more aggressive in their ball screen coverage and in her shot blocking.
North Carolina shooting more threes this year than a year ago. They're making more as well. That's their 6th. Check that, 5th of the ball game. Showing that zone again. Hassett off the bounce, drops it off for Strack. May have been deflected and knocked out.
North Carolina is connected on the defensive end, whether they're in their man-to-man. This is the 2nd possession of zone that we have seen. Now on the baseline, out of bounds. They're going to stay in the zone.
Gakdang able to close out on the shooter. They got to hustle to beat that shot clock again. Hassett and the good find by Amoore. Read the defense and delivered.
You know, we were talking about how familiar these two coaches are with each other. Kenny Brooks told us today at shoot-around that he knew Courtney Banghart was going to zone him on baseline out of bounds because she hadn't done it all year. That's how well they know each other.
Kenny is 10-2 against Banghart in the head-to-head. Amoore 8-2 in her career against North Carolina. She had double-doubles in both of their wins last year.
The offense for Kentucky is predicated on creating closeouts because they play with such great space, and Amoore does a great job of putting it right in the shooting pocket.
You know, exams start here on campus tomorrow, Debbie. It's reading day in Chapel Hill, and Amoore doing just that. Picking up her 3rd assist.
Read the floor.
Read the room.
I'm not a big fan or familiar with reading day, but
for Debbie, this was always just opening day of Christmas break, so.
Well, I was studying for my exams. Come on.
Of course, of course.
Strack battling for position in there.
See if she can get something established. And she does right there.
She's not Elizabeth Kitley, the All-American,
but that was a Kitley-like move, wasn't it?
3-time ACC Player of the Year, but yes, that was very Kitley-like with that footwork.
On the scouting report for North Carolina, Usby was calling that the Dirk, as in Nowitzki.
Yeah, I'm calling it the Sigma, though. That's
well, you're a little older.
Generational difference.
Kentucky hoping to be calling that the Strack in the near future. Transition 3 no from Amoore.
Look at us be working for position inside.
Baseline pull-up won't go.
One side, one pass, a couple of dribbles and a shot. Courtney Banghart has been talking about how well her team has moved the ball and how unselfish they've been all year. And we saw them in the Bahamas at the Battle for Atlantis. That was the best defense I've ever seen their team play.
Got a whistle away from the ball here. They're going to get Gakdang trying to contain Strack.
You also have to be unselfish on the defensive end because you got to know your role and you got to trust the backside help.
Strack with Usby now defending. Finds the open shooter weak side. Lawrence can't get it to fall. And Usby has another rebound.
You know what Brooks does that time is because Gakdang is on one bottom part of the zone, you run offense away from her to the other side back. Because Donarski's on the back side of that zone, and you have the length and the size of Gakdang on one side. Get it to the other side of the floor where you don't have to deal with that.
Held ball here will go to Kentucky.
North Carolina back in their man-to-man defense.
Amoore, who is such a coach on the floor for the Cats. knows this system so well. Trying to bring them together quickly because every starter is a newcomer. They actually had 2 other players they thought would be big contributors out with injury, Jordan Obi and Dominika Parova. As Gakdang picks up her 2nd foul.
So just when I said she could be more aggressive, she's picked up a couple of aggressive fouls.
Amoore off the inbound.
Good fill behind the penetration. Oh, look at Amoore beating Kelly to the spot. That was excellent defense to force the ball back out.
Gakdang and Strack both playing with a couple fouls. Strack gets the block, and they'll get the ball.
Clara Strack at 6'5", 8th in the nation, just under 3 blocks a game. Watch how she walls up. They play behind. It helps them with their defensive rebounding percentage, and it's a really good job of not coming down once you build that wall, but staying vertical.
Both these teams defensively top 10 in the country here through the first month of the season. We've had a lot of shot clock countdowns for both sides. Amoore just has to chuck it one-handed. And those are the ones that hurt on the stat sheet the next day.
Georgia Amoore usually doesn't pick up her dribble. She usually keeps it alive, and she loves to attack the baseline.
Crisp.
That's a contested 3.
Not quick on the shot again. Tar Heels start out the quarter running for 7. And a foul here on the drive on Ganarski. And free throws coming for Deja Lawrence.
Watch this, young players. Driving left, rim body ball. You go with your left hand to score here. Yes, that's a foul.
Should have kept it straight up.
Stayed straight up and challenged. It was already a contested, hard, tough 2.
Lawrence 58% at the free throw line on the season. Tonight 2 for 2. Seven points now for Deja. Heels now have gone 4.5 minutes without a point to open up this second half. Kelly had Amoore on her hit, and the foul called.
Good set by Courtney Bennett. You go middle ball screen with Toomey. She's an excellent pick and pop. You got shooters in the corner. That's how you get your team back in rhythm.
Second foul on Amoore. Usby tries to step through and scores.
So tough on the end. You know, when we were in the battle for Atlantis, I talked about USA Track and Field ought to be watching her. She'd be an incredible heptathlete. She came over to us as shooter and I said, thank you, I'd love for the USA Track and Field to check me out.
They're not the only ones watching
That's
her.
right. How about USA flag football?
They gave her a call. We'll see what happens with her basketball career. She might have options.
She said she might be a good wide receiver, which I believe it.
Crisp on the drive, finishes one-handed.
Of course, she wants to make WNBA and play there also, so she does have a lot of options.
See what happens at the draft next spring. Of course, don't forget the expansion draft's coming up tomorrow night for the W. For the new Golden State Valkyries. 15-footer is good for Lawrence. She's got 9.
I think they've been patient, Kentucky. Almost called him Virginia Tech looking at Kenny Brooks. He looks good in that blue, though. She walked.
Must be traveled.
the paint, advantage to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Alyssa Usby back to the basket. Look at this step through. What a great move, high off the glass. And then the dribble handoff right here to Crisp, who also, with the left.
He got more experience.
And he's 100 years old.
And he's 100 years old, that's right. Arena just turned 60 this week. And we've got a hard ball, and it will go to the Tar Heels. There's a look at your star stories. Amoore, Usby, and Gakdang all in double figures. Tar Heels led by as many as 15. Kentucky's trying to fight their way back in it ever since. That was early in the first quarter. Off the drive, Crisp. She just went left. This time she goes right.
And she's known as a three-point threat as well, a dual threat off the bounce as well. You know what? No help from the weak side on that drive. And part of that was because the post-up was so strong by Usby and Tooman.
Well, they've been able to score in the paint against the best shot-blocking team, the best rim-protecting team in the country. Usby calling for it. She'll get it from Donarski. Has to fade. Short. Here comes Hassett. Lawrence tries to scoop it up, and he does.
What a take. Kentucky's got to get a couple of stops here.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
They're just clearing it out, going one-on-one inside. They've taken all the help away. North Carolina really well designed, entering the ball into the post.
Tooman. She's taken more threes than Donarski has tonight. Lexi, in fact, has only gotten 2 shots up. Strack trying to go to work on the youngster, and it's blocked. They have held her in check tonight. Here's Donarski on cue. Timeout, Cats.
The Heels blocking it into their transition game. The top shot blocking team in the country is getting out-blocked by North Carolina, if you will. Donarski finishes on the other end.
SEC ACC Women's Challenge just underway in night number 2. SEC leading 4-2, but 10 games on the slate tonight. This will be the first to finish. And right now, the ACC with a leg up, 48-36, Carolina over Kentucky.
Really good help on the low eye by Crisp on the backside of that defense. Oh, look at that rebound. Keone goes way up to rebound that. So Katie Brooks goes single side, 2-man game, and it was great help by Crisp from the weak side to help take away the roll.
That's the first on Toomey. Tiani Key to the free throw line, a native of Cary, North Carolina. And the Cary Imps just down the road a ways.
My high school.
Antonelli, the Fighting Antonellis.
If I had any records, they're all gone. And add Azure Stevens to that list. The LA Spark who plays in the WNBA.
Was that a big if? Or?
Oh, if I had any records, that's a big if. Zoned by Kentucky. You know I'm the best non-stat shooter.
I would dispute that.
Non-stat starter.
But you are a Naismith Hall of Famer, so you got that. That's a big get. SEC and ACC are sending a few to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame this coming year as Gakdang scores inside. ACC legend Elena Beard, SEC legend Sylvia Fowles, and then Danielle Donahue, who played at Georgia Tech, getting in as a contributor for her many years of service to women's hoops.
Look how quick he makes that move. That is strong and aggressive at the rim, and Kentucky could use that aggressiveness around the paint to get a bucket or to get to the free throw line.
They're going to need to make a move to open up the fourth quarter. Tar Heels will try and pad that lead. Donarski has to give it up. And a block by Hassett. Tar Heels leading the Cats 50-39. The fourth quarter coming up from Carmichael Arena. There's your story as we head to the fourth. Kentucky allowing a lot of scoring inside. Carolina 12 of 17 at the rim. Gakdang and Usby a combined 11 for 16 with 23 points.
According to her hoop stats coming into the game, Kentucky was #1 in the nation at defensive field goal percentage at the rim, holding teams to 33%. That's a huge number for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
The scoring for Kentucky has been all on the perimeter so far with Amoore and Lawrence.
Kentucky accelerating through their action a little bit faster, Beth. They got to speed the game up. And you got to speed it up, not just up and down vertically, but you got to speed up the cadence in the quarter court as well.
They come in at 7-0. They have faced their largest deficit of the season here tonight. They've been down by as many as 15 and have never led as Kelly knocks down the three.
Kentucky stayed in the zone that possession. North Carolina back in their man-to-man.
And the foul on Key, that's her third.
Yeah, Key set an illegal screen. She moved her upper body. You got to be stationary. Let's see how North Carolina is here managing the lead. See, they should accelerate through their stuff and try to take advantage of scoring or getting to the free throw line, which have only been one trip. Trying to take advantage of their speed.
Crisp fouled on the drive. This will just be their second free throw of the night coming up. Hey, the WNBA expansion draft for the newest franchise, the Golden State Valkyries out in San Francisco, will be tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. The 12 current teams can protect 6 players on their roster, so one unprotected player from each team can be chosen. They'll also get to select unrestricted free agent. They'll be a part of the draft as well.
You do not have to pick a player from every team. You can opt not to if you don't want to. I'm sure the Valkyries have sold 20,000 season tickets. It's an exciting expansion opportunity for the league.
And the following year, Portland, and after that, who knows? A lot of cities have voiced an interest in adding a franchise as North Carolina now enjoys its largest lead of the night.
I tell you who's been impressive to me is Renaya Kelly for North Carolina. She's got 9 points, she's got 5 assists, but she's managed for Courtney Banghart both sides of the ball as you see that 3 go in for Hassett. See, this is what I'm talking about. You've seen some maturity in her. She's really understood the balance between pace and tempo and getting the ball in the right spots.
Just a sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama. Shot clock winding down again. Crisp will go to work. Steps through.
Triana Crisp was a great pickup in the transfer portal from Arizona State.
Hassett, back to back.
There you go. That's what Kentucky needs. Get it to 10, put some game pressure and shot pressure on North Carolina.
Get it close against a team that does not shoot their free throws well.
Wouldn't it be just classic during this Jimmy V week if it ended up being a situation where Coach Valvano won the national championship in '83 by fouling Houston around the 6 or 7 minute mark, I think, in the second half. I'm not suggesting Kentucky does that yet because they've hit back-to-back threes.
It's Amelia Hassett with the assist from Amoore. is on Strack. So she and Key will be playing with 3.
Go a little offense, defense maybe here, getting India Navarre back on the floor.
Lexi Blue knocked out of there by Strack, and then she has it knocked away. Kelly off the crossover to the left hand.
That's called reading the floor on reading day at North Carolina.
12 now for Kelly, and the triple in response from Lawrence, followed by the quick timeout. Keeps it within 10.
We're just talking about Renaya Kelly, not known as a three-point shooter, but look at her eyes up, assessing all options, change of pace, the crossover, high off the glass, and finish. North Carolina up 10 as we head to this inside 7.
There's a look at your leading scorers. Kentucky and North Carolina. The Tar Heels up 10. They have led throughout. 7 minutes to go.
But if you're Kenny Brooks, you're talking to your team about 3 consecutive stops and then coming down and moving the ball and looking to attack off the bounce, try to get inside out to set up your threes, try to get to the free throw line. And if you're North Carolina, you're talking about taking care of the ball, moving the ball, getting good shots, no fouls.
No Usby or Donarski out here for North Carolina, and they're still going to get a nice backdoor.
That's the first bucket of the game for Courtney Banghart. She called it.
Navarre scoring out of the timeout. Foul off the ball. Is that on Gakdang? That'll be her third. Skip to the shooter in the corner, Blue, and Strack fouled by Kelly.
So Lexi Blue, what a great name in Kentucky, right, Beth? Didn't play in the first half, but she's known as a three-point threat. That's her second three-point attempt. She's only 1 for 10 coming into the game.
Hassett's had the hot hand, rattles in and out. North Carolina's done a terrific job, really, of taking Clara Strack out of it tonight, averaging 18 points, 11 rebounds per game. She's just 2 points and 3 rebounds, and in foul trouble tonight.
And she gets hung up on the screen. It's good help by Lexi Blue, and then North Carolina's going to turn it over. You know, watching Strack, fundamentally, she's skilled. She's got great hands. She's got good footwork. But when you're playing against players that are physically stronger, you're going to have to play the game lower. Meaning you're going to have to use your leverage. You're going to have to play low to high. You're going to have to get in the stance. You're going to have to post up stronger. And you got to stay on your feet. And then your pick and pop action will work as well.
Kelly knocks it away from Amoore. Oh, Lawrence unattended in the corner. Crisp lost sight of her.
Good find by Amoore. She threw it right behind the head of Crisp. It didn't look like she was ready to defend. That's not going to look good on film tomorrow.
17 now for Lawrence in the return to her home state. They've got it down to a 9-point game. It's going to be on Lawrence with the armbar.
Watch Crisp. She doesn't even see the ball has been handed to Amoore. And you lose Lawrence in the deep corner. Down to 9.
Toomey, three, no. Not the shot the Tar Heels were looking for. That'll quickly get Usby off the bench to check back in. Can Kentucky chip away a little bit more? Strack to the left side and a foul.
See how low she got on that post up? She really ducked in. Perfect timing. You get Gokdang on your back. You get a one-on-one. Look how low. Now you got to make two strong dribbles, and when you spin back, when she gets stronger going with that left hand, that and one is going to mean an opportunity for 3 points.
Usby and Donarski will return here for the Tar Heels. Strack to the line.
This is the kind of game pressure I'm talking about. Right now you start to feel a little uncomfortable if you're North Carolina.
And the 76% free throw shooter misses the first. A quiet night thus far. Can she make some noise here in the final 5 minutes and misses them both?
Cookies for the house, I believe.
Well, that's the call.
I prefer chicken on two lists. I prefer chicken instead of cookies.
That would appear to be the inside of an Oreo cookie. At any rate, Navarre to the free throw line. Former high school player of the year out of Apex, North Carolina, who started at Stanford and now has come back home, her second year here in Carolina.
Well, I think Donarski and Kelly are the best free throw shooters. So if it gets to that situation, Courtney Banger's going to keep the ball in their hands. Everyone else, though, is a foul.
Yes. At 59%, one of the worst in the country for this team. And unfortunately for the Cats, Strack just missed a pair as well.
Look at that jump out on that switch right there by Gokdang. He gets high hands on the catch.
Strack over Gokdang, who had to remain stationary with the 4 fouls.
It's the right matchup to go to, though.
Missed opportunities for Kentucky on the last 2 trips. And that's going to be on Amoore. Her third.
I'm telling you, this is what I love about watching Renaya Kelly. You know, she has really grown into managing the team from the top of the floor. She's just solid. It's what you want your point guard to be. Not too emotional, just steady.
That is the 5th team foul. So to the free throw line for a pair here for Kelly. What's that to go? 13 points tonight for her. 2 for 3 from the stripe. So on the season, she's just 7 of 8. Not many trips there yet. But a couple of big ones right there. Back up to double digits for Carolina.
Kentucky got to look to speed it up right here and go a little quicker.
Amoore. Off the mark, Donarski weak side.
Watch for Crisp right here on this matchup with Hassett, excuse me. You got to jump to the ball. Can't let that UCLA cut happen. That was a good job by Hassett.
Crisp, weak side. Key couldn't hang on. I think Donarski left unattended.
I think Coach Banghart might have preferred that comes out instead of that shot by Donarski, but they're going to get the ball back right here. So it's late game execution for Kentucky they've missed some opportunities.
4 straight possessions that they come up empty, and their drought is 2.5 minutes. Donarski comes through the elevator screen. Oh, that's going to be Amoore with the bump, and that's 4 on Georgia. afternoon, our ACC Network Women's Basketball triple header gets underway at noon Eastern. How about that lineup for you? Notre Dame at Syracuse, SMU at Florida State, Virginia Tech at Duke, ACC Network.
I'm really interested in that Duke-South Carolina game coming up later tonight at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That should be a good one. Duke has back-to-back wins over top 10 teams in Kansas State and Oklahoma in overtime. And Reagan Richardson has really emerged as a go-to player for them. She's averaged 23 points in the last 3. Of course, South Carolina is a load to deal with. They are so good, so talented, so athletic, and back-to-back won the national championship last year.
Only loss was on the road at UCLA. Another challenging early season schedule for the Gamecocks. That game coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
So a little game slippage for Kenny Brooks' team here late, right? Not anything that you cannot fix. It's definitely all fixable. I still think he's a little bit ahead of schedule in Kentucky.
Dang, and a foul. Under a second on the shot clock.
Silva, her second to the line to shoot 2 more. Targeting goes to number 5,
Dang, another solid night for her. Coming off a double-double earlier this week against North Carolina Central, and tonight 13 points, 9 boards, and has more than held her own against the Kentucky front line as they have owned the paint tonight, 36-10. And perhaps a tone setter for the ACC if they can hold this. A win here for the Tar Heels would make it 4-3 on the tote board in favor of the SEC.
I think this is the best North Carolina team that Courtney Banghart has had in her 6 years. They're deep, they've got speed, they've got a variety of ways that they can score. They shoot the 3 with greater balance than they've ever in her career here at North Carolina. But it's their defense that triggers everything.
Holding Kentucky to 37% shooting. And now they'll work that clock. Under 2 minutes to go here at Carmichael. Kelly on the drive gets to the backboard. 18 points, 6 assists for Renaya. Lawrence 3 off the mark. And the Tar Heel fans voicing their approval of the performance tonight. Closing in on a win against a ranked opponent and handing Kentucky its first loss of the season. And the fewest points they've scored this season is Bang puts the finishing touches on it. They are celebrating tonight at Carmichael, the final minute of play, and North Carolina's led throughout and in control here at the finish as well.
I think North Carolina managed playing with a lead, and that's important. I mean, we're still early in the season. We haven't gotten to conference play yet, but it's a big win for the ACC. A little pitch 21 action from Coach Jay Wright at Villanova.
And they'll get to their feet now for the Tar Heels. So the ACC will pick up a much-needed win, one of the 3 head-to-head matchups of ranked opponents. Speed. Alyssa with 3 assists.
Just not a night for Strack. Early foul trouble, less than 7 minutes in the first half. Bothered by the length and the strength and experience of North Carolina's front line. Good teaching tool for Kenny Brooks moving forward. And a big win for the Heels.
72-53, your final. Kelly, Gottang, and Usby all in double digits. Lawrence, Hassett, and Amoore double-figure scorers for Kentucky. The Cats fall for the first time this year, and there's the big tote board. The SEC 4, the ACC 3. This the first of our 10 games going on the ESPN networks. Coming up next here on ESPN2, Ole Miss at NC State. And then the late game on ESPN2, Stanford at LSU. And getting set to tip at the top of the hour on ESPN. We've got Texas at Notre Dame. That's a top 10 showdown. And then at 9 Eastern on ESPN, Duke at South Carolina. Great action to come.
Impressive defensive effort, a connected defensive effort by North Carolina.
And one of those double-digit scorers joining us now courtside, Alyssa Usby. And a 72-53 win for North Carolina. Alyssa, perhaps most impressive was the way that you guys were able to dominate in the paint tonight. How'd you get that done against a team that's been so good defensively in the lane?
Yeah, you know, our coach mentioned all those stats to us at how well they're holding their opponents in the paint to low percentages. And so we knew if you're going to be big, you can't move too. So all we tried to do was make sure we reverse the ball, get those bigs moving so we can attack some angles.
Alyssa, you guys have looked so connected on both ends of the floor. What makes your defense so different this year versus other years?
This team, we love each other so much, and we're not just playing defense, we're playing hard for each other. We have each other's backs. Sometimes it feels like we're on the playground because of how much fun we're having, and that's what it comes down to when you're playing basketball.
I want to ask you about Renee Kelly's development and how she seems to be managing everything for your team. What is it about her game that has given her such great poise and patience?
Yeah, she has stepped into a huge leadership role. She gets us into things when we start to break down, and she's really good at keeping the tempo of our game at the pace that we like to play at.
How about the re-addition now of Maria Gottang, who had back-to-back really good nights in her return from the injury? How does she change things for you on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, she changes so many things. I mean, for her, she's a rim protector. She alters a lot of shots down in the paint, and she's really mobile. So she can get out and hedge on Georgia Amoore and any guards that are trying to get a shot off on us.
All right, well, congratulations on the big win over Kentucky.
Thank you so much, guys. Great to see you.
All right, Alyssa Usby finishing out the night, 13 points, 6 of 9 shooting. She also had 8 rebounds. And the Tar Heels pick up a win over ranked opponent in impressive fashion, 72-53, as they pick up the win for themselves and the ACC. So much more to come this evening, and keep you abreast of everything going on. Here's Zubin and Andrea.